The following audio has been transcribed and taken directly from a Department of Justice memorandum that was acquired in 1985 during a broadcast by CBS News relating to the 20th anniversary retelling of a tragic event that took place on Christmas morning at the EMI studios in Hollywood. Listen for yourself and learn what happened. What you are about to hear is true. Nothing has been altered from its original text and is still classified as top secret by the Department of Justice in Washington, D.C. CBS News denies any such memorandum existed, nor does their Archives Department have any such document in their microfiche library. The Department of Justice also denies such a memorandum exists. This is the only evidence that exists today that proves what really happened at the EMI studios in Hollywood, California. There was a radio station and TV station that aired during that time, KCHP-TV 6 and 550 FM, who also reported on this story about the tragedy, but is no longer on the air. Now, nothing else remains that can be verified. No agency will talk about this or any media outlet. Here is that document in its entirety, for immediate release from the desk of the Director General Classified, Top Secret Memorandum to all field offices, December 18, 1981. Subject: the conclusions found regarding the attempted murder of David Seville by Alvin, the Chipmunk, at the EMI studios, on December 25, 1965, in Hollywood, California. The conclusions of this agency, after investigating all known facts, are that on December 25, 1965, the individual known as Alvin, the Chipmunk, went to tape a Christmas vinyl album with fellow musicians, Theodore, Simon, and David Seville at 9 a.m. That after the confrontation with David Seville, he then took out a hidden revolver and began shooting him at point-blank range, shooting randomly in his direction and having struck his kidney, stomach, and back. That he then dropped the revolver and was thereafter apprehended by studio security. He was charged initially with first-degree murder, and then that charge was subsequently changed to attempted murder after Dave Seville's condition was upgraded to serious, but not life-threatening. He was incarcerated and subsequently held in state court for a trial of attempted murder by the California judicial system of state courts in the county of Orange. He was found guilty and sentenced to life imprisonment by 12 jurors who sent him to the San Quentin facility. In 1971, he was found dead of a cutthroat in the San Quentin prison. These are the known facts about this case. Subsequent facts have been added since the initial findings and are listed below. January 1966, our agency began a suppression campaign with all media outlets to stop all information being communicated with the general public so that it would be helpful in keeping any rumors from being started about the true facts of this case, so that we could help the millions of children around the world from grieving over this matter. We instructed all media outlets to give only news-breaking events some significant priority but not to emphasize anything else after. This helped to calm the populace of the country very much. In the years since, no one even remembers it today. March 1966, our agency began an investigation into the facts surrounding this case and whether the individual, Alvin the Chipmunk, acted alone or with any accomplices. We found that he indeed acted out his actions with the assistance of another group who directed his actions with such intent that he planned to murder David Seville with the intent that he would be paid by this other group of individuals for doing so. It was verified and confirmed that this other group has been identified as the Peterkin Industries Group, who also was in competition with EMI in the marketing of Chipmunk music, and that they intended to murder the band leader, David Seville, with the intent that, by killing him, they would obtain a larger size of the musical industry market for the purposes of monopolizing the Chipmunk artist industry itself. May 1966, the band leader, known as David Seville, was released from the Hollywood Memorial Hospital and was permitted to return to work again. He was questioned extensively by police and later by this agency of his account about what happened and what did he notice about Alvin's personality or if any notable changes had been witnessed. He told us that yes, he was not the same Chipmunk he had been. November 1966, as our investigation continued, we found that this road musical company, who conspired to kill David Seville, had abducted the individual Alvin, the Chipmunk, and that he was held against his will by a group who worked for the company Peterkin Industries. They then placed an imposter into the group known as the Chipmunks with the intent to infiltrate EMI and make friends and associations with other employees who worked there. That he did this for 3 months prior to the shooting in the studios on Christmas morning in 1965. That he took a revolver with him to work that morning with the intent to kill David Seville. February 1968. In the later months of 1966 through mid-1967, our agency located the individual known as Alvin, the Chipmunk, and assisted in his release from this road company who had abducted him from EMI in 1965. Our agency identified that this company was using insurgent forces who had ties to organized crime in Hollywood and other cities across the United States. We immediately took him into protective custody to maintain his safety and identity status. He was then subsequently placed into our witness protection program as of December 1967. We gave him a new name and identity and have placed him outside of California for the present time in order to give the individual a chance to begin his life again somewhere else. Since that time, the individual has been active in the musical industry under an assumed name and works in nightclubs and lounges, singing and playing the piano. Some plastic surgery was done to conceal his identity and has helped in keeping his true identity a secret since that time. April 1970, the imposter of said individual, Alvin the Chipmunk, was arraigned in state court and a trial was held for approximately 6 months to confirm that he had pulled the trigger in an attempt to kill Dave Seville at the EMI studios. He was subsequently found guilty of attempted murder and was sentenced to life imprisonment as of this date. Peter Pan Industries has yet to be charged in this case. We cannot do any fingerprint checks of this chipmunk's true identity, nor would Peter Pan Industries tell us, since they hired this individual through a known mob boss in Hollywood who has since died. August 1971, the imposter of said individual, Alvin the Chipmunk, was found dead in his cell of a cut throat. Trauma was identified around the individual's face and that he struggled during the skirmish. He had died in a manner consistent with someone who had been murdered. We then began looking into those who were incarcerated with the imposter and found that they also had ties to organized crime insurgents within the prison system itself. The further investigation has determined that Peter Pan Industries had paid an individual within the prison to kill the imposter for having failed in his assignment to kill David Seville. We questioned many people in the prison who said that the imposter was a troublemaker and that just prior to being found dead, had made accusations that he wasn't Alvin and that he was paid to kill David Seville but wouldn't divulge who he was paid by. July 1972, the creator of the group known as Alvin the Chipmunks, Mr. Ross Baghdasarian Sr. died of a heart attack in his home. No foul play was identified and such no other investigation is warranted in this matter. His case has been closed. January 1977, the individual known as Alvin the Chipmunk, who is now under an assumed name and identity, contacted our office and asked to be permitted to return to his chosen profession as a singer at EMI, but that he still retain his alias name and identity. We debriefed him as to the results of this decision and he agreed to do so anyway. He has since taken the place of another artist who was playing the character after the shooting in 1965. He told us that most of the employees who knew him were no longer there. His other co-workers Simon and Theodore were debriefed and said they would never tell anyone about this. Dave Seville had been replaced prior to 1972 for health problems and died about the same time as the creator of the group, Ross Baghdasarian, did. September 1978, new medical studies are available known as forensic science and has been used to try identifying anything about the imposter known as Alvin. Using DNA blood samples, no conclusive evidence was obtained from having exhumed his body, and such this investigative type will not be pursued until the procedure can be perfected at a later time. December 1979, no further investigation has been made since all pertinent facts have been found to justify any additional charges against those who were directly or indirectly involved in this case. The Rouge company known as Peter Pan Industries pleaded guilty and those individuals who conspired to kill Dave Seville were charged and sentenced to life imprisonment. Footnote to this incarceration: those who had been paid to kill the imposter also were involved with the murders of those who conspired to kill Dave Seville. In the years since that time, they were placed on death row for conspiracy to commit murder within the prison system and were executed by electrocution. Their names are classified until any relatives can be notified. December 1980, Some records have been lost from our agency's archives of the issues surrounding our investigation. No conspiracy is assumed, but all agency offices should take steps to protect their archives from other such thefts that might occur. All administrative staff should be investigated to be sure of security clearance status. End of report. Albert H. Hemmings, Director General, Department of Justice. The rest of this story we leave to your discretion. Whether you believe it or not, is entirely up to you.